The next speaker is Miss Dr. Shahriari. I asked Dr. Shahriari to have the share her presentation and start.
Hello and good morning to everyone. Thank you for Dr. Fereidunian and also all these people who are involved in this seminar. As I have seen the before presentation, they talk about most of the things related to the smart city. My approach to the smart cities is about that to see the dark part or the missing part in the smart cities and how we can make it a better place for the living. And just a moment. Yes, the content of the work is, I would like to talk about the challenges of a smart city, but very briefly because the other friend talk. Then about the eco-city, that's there is it's possible to find a sort of the right connection between the smart city and eco-city. And then I will talk about the balanced approach, and then about eco-smart balanced city, and then about the point that very often are it's important in this sort of the city. It means the identity of the city, identity of the citizens, and also the sense of belonging. At some points, then later about the vandalism, something that is very common in any cities, and how we can find this vandalism in the new form also in the smart cities, and how to control it somehow. Based off this, the solution for the vandalism is the theory of the broken window theory. I would discuss more about this, and then I will introduce some sample from the German cities. Smart cities, as we see, smart cities are, the city would be smart when is the investment in the human and social capital, traditional infrastructure, and disruptive technologies fuel sustainable economic growth and a high quality of life, with a wise management of natural resources through participatory governments. In fact, smart cities emerge as the result of many smart solutions, as we discussed before the speaker before, across all sectors of the society. It's fueled by a combination of the disruptive technologies and social involvement, and combine changing human behavior with the use of data and innovative technologies. The challenges of smart cities are disruption of the labor market. That is a very, because the more that we are smart, it means there is a less possibility for the people to work in these cities. Winning the war on the talent, social cohesion, this is the topic that I will talk more, and also inclusiveness and solidarity. Security and privacy that somehow we will pay through the vandalism, and the resilience. The citizens of small cities are fundamental to bring a safety-centric culture. The higher the level of adoption and awareness, the better prepared they are for threats such as the online fraud, all this problem that we see at the moment all over the world, against malware attacks and other emerging threats. Because of this, the digital competence and the trust become important in the smart city. Then I talk about the eco-city. Eco-city is is actually a connection between the word ecology and the city. An eco-city is an ecologically healthy city. The term describes the obligation the term describes the obligation of cities and settlements to achieve, maintain, or continuously improve ecologically sustainable management and thus leave the smallest possibility ecological footprint so that the goal of the maximizing human well-being can be achieved today and in the future. The selected measures, now we talk about selected measures of the eco-city. Eco-cities enhance the comfort of the citizens and society through integral urban planning and management that fully harnesses the benefit of ecological system. Also serves as a fundamental catalyst for change, improving environmental quality of the nature and built environment for future generations. There are 6 selected measures. That is the first is minimization of primary water consumption, use of environmentally friendly materials, energy saving system, encourage land reuse and reduce land and construction, planning of mixed-use building, and minimizing distance between the place of work and living, and increase the share of renewable energy sources and management system. The balanced city is, first we talk about the balanced city and then about the balanced approach. Balanced city is defined by the sustainable, healthy urban landscape, growing health awareness, the longing for the authenticity, and the need for both as well as solutions are merging the environment, infrastructure, and technology into an energetic quality of life. In a balanced city, smart technologies serve to simplify everyday life and create environmental friendly solutions. In the balanced approach, the balanced urban development is concerned with the 3 key elements. It's very important, and sometimes we feel that are missing in the somehow smart cities or even the eco-city. Is the place, people, and planning. But why about the balanced approach? The rapid urbanization and increased complexity of cities, which present an array of opportunities and challenges, made the traditional top-down city planning insufficient and need for the more democratized and somehow the bottom-up approach is necessary. The aim of this balanced approach is to help policymakers, local governments, developers, and service providers through development of the various planning tools and models that help to analyze and visualize different options and scenarios. The overall goal of this balanced urban development is to deliver livable, sustainable, resilient, and affordable areas. This affordability is a very important topic again, because very often when we talk about smart cities, sometimes this affordability is missing. But why balanced approach? The urban development can impact health and well-being of the people in the medium and long term. During the process of achieving balanced urban development, it is possible to learn from the past success and mistake to identify what makes a good practice for balanced urban development and guide local governments, planning agency, and developers to plan and design future cities that are highly livable. Then, as I mentioned here before, there are 2 important topics about the cities. It's about every city. That is, the first is the identity of the city, and then the sense of the belonging of the city. That somehow they are connected to the vandalism and also to the problem that could occur in the city. Identity of the city is often expressed by the use of the historic distinctive urban form, architectural style, design solutions and ornaments, while utilizing local buildings, materials, and construction techniques. This is from the urban point of view, but also urban identity is a blend of the physical heritage, local culture, and geographical context, overlaid with perceived remembrances. Furthermore, city identity is a combination of the aspiration and experiences of the citizens and those who visit. When we talk about identity and sense of belonging, the sense of place and identity is reflected in an understanding of both the wider city region and specific physical places. For each city to find its authentic and distinctive identity in a placeless world, where the same branch occurs on every high street is the challenge. So we can talk about the city branding and city identity. With the city branding, it's something that uniqueness that or features that cannot be reproduced in other cities. So it means that each city has its own character and identity. And the city identity is the most composed physical elements. It's about the memories, like a positive and negative, stories, history, culture, and associate. A sense of, when we talk about the sense of belonging, we should start from really from the very beginning. From the psychological perspective, a sense of belonging is a basic human need, with many psychologists discussing this need as a being at the level of importance as of food, water, and shelter. A sense of belonging can be so powerful that it can create both value in life and the ability to learn healthy coping skills when experiencing intensive and painful emotions. The importance of the sense of belonging can be tracked back to the infancy, where researchers have studied skin-to-skin contact between the baby and their parents. According to some research, combined with a strong emotional engagement, a baby's development, growth, and its recognition of self increase significantly based on this contact. Throughout the rest of our development years and life cycle, a sense of belonging also has a positive impact on many other areas of our lives. Intellectual levels, social skills, mental health, physical health, and motivation are just some of the many areas of our lives that are improved when we live with a sense of belonging to the place, to the city, or to the community that we are living. According to research again, an individual's well-being can be jeopardized by only one instance of exclusion from a group. Interestingly, even this exclusion has also been shown to have a negative impact on individuals' performance during IQ tests. Then I should mention again why I go from the sense of belonging to the vandalism, because very often the vandalism it could be the effect of the being excluded from the society, or feeling that it's not part of the society. Vandalism is the action involving deliberate destruction of or damage to public or private property. There are the different sorts of the vandalism. Is a graffiti and defacement. That is also very often, you can see it in the new cities. We have also website defacement. It is an attack on the website that changed the visual appearance of the website or the web pages. Now I'll talk about the broken theory. It's interesting that the story starts with, I guess it's about 1960, and based on the one study in the Stanford University, the cyclists, they used an abandoned car without a license plate, and leave it in the poor, crime-ridden section of the New York City. After the few minutes, the radiator and the battery of the car were removed. Soon after, other valuable parts were to removed. In the next 24 hours, the car windows were smashed, parts were stripped and destroyed completely. The researcher then, he abandoned another car without a license plate in a wealthy neighborhood of Palo Alto in California. The car remained untouched for more than a week. Then he took a sledgehammer and smashed part of the car. Within a few hours, passerby quickly ripped the car apart. Windows were smashed and the car was completely destroyed. That's based on this study, he concluded that if something is neglected for a long time, then no matter how rich or poor a neighborhood, it can quickly become a target for vandalism. This is the origin of the theory of the broken window theory. And based on this, after the 30 years, two psychologists, they develop the idea. They say the idea is that once disorder begins, it doesn't matter what the neighborhood is, things can begin to get out of control. So it means that it's not important which neighborhood, which society, which city, that situation could be controlled. And the other, Mr. Wilson says the human behavior is profoundly affected by its environment. Broken windows are a declaration that the environment is uncontrolled and uncontrollable. The broken window theory suggests that criminals are more likely to commit additional crimes if they see broken windows, graffiti, and other signs of decadency in urban areas. Its interesting point is that the criminals feel like they are part of the area, so they must protect it. So it's even in this negative side or dark part of the city, there is this sense of the belonging is very active. The same as conceiving, another point is that the same as conceiving positively the signs such as smart infrastructure, urban activity, children playing, less noise pollution, or percentage of the urban congestions, more green congestion, the presence of deformed graffiti and urban vandalism, as broken windows theory says, indicates an unsound environment. Now, what's the problem? One of the root of this problem, when we are talking about the smart cities or smart way of life, is that the urban landscape is increasingly engulfed in advertising banners and other signs and symbols that diminish the day-to-day functioning of the city as a place to live and emphasize more on its economic or smart values. On the other hand, the anger caused by various anomalies in society sometimes turn out to be harmful to urban environment, mostly done by the young people, which their activities spread out epidemically to other parts of the neighborhood and send an unhealthy message to passerby and residents. These are the groups that, as I mentioned, they don't feel that they belong to the society or to this area. The solution could be there. One of the solutions is the adoption of the destructive phenomenon context under the concept of an eco-smart city is a balanced city of opportunity for everyone to see, be seen, and somehow being immortal through the personal effects. This approach could result employing the phenomenon against its origin. You already see that some people, before we saw the picture from the real area, we see that how they are really ugly. But here we see that how we can use the same graffiti as a possibility for the people to express and to see that they are part of the area, as part of the city. The solution would be by employing the phenomenon against its origin, like using the graffiti and taking the some concept, the value of the sense of belonging to certain quarters city could make a city and its quarter attractive, balanced, and better place for living. The right balance, now we're talking about right balance, against balance approach. The right balance between various elements of the city turns a high density of agglomeration of technology to an eco-smart balanced city. A balance between the human social needs, economic activities, smart technologies, and the natural ecosystem make the urban areas resilient and multi-dimensional. One of the problems that sometimes we see with the one when we focus only in one aspect of the cities is this problem that we lose the other important aspect of the city. A balanced approach enables us in the future to uphold a great quality of life in the cities and make them a better place for living. It also enables us in the future to uphold the great, now we talk about the three difference, and even the way that I present these three quarters is based off this idea. The first is OIRF Campus Berlin. OIRF Campus is, as you see, it's a part of the south of Berlin. It's an intelligent city district and a model project of the energy turnaround. The OIRF Campus is actually it started to be a very historical part of the city of Berlin. There are some buildings are also protected by UNESCO, I know, and they use the land for the new function. As you see, there are different. One of the possibility in this OIRF campus is that they have, as a sample or just as a small pilot project, they use the different sort of the energy supplies, and they are somehow connected to the grid, but they can check every hours which energy is more now available and which one they can use for the area. The campus, as we see, it has the mobility network. You can see the car and also bus without the driver. There is one of the bench of the TU Berlin is also in the OIRF campus. They are providing sort of the master course for the energy and the, energy management. There are different offices. There is a model location. They call it a model location for the work and living. There is a lot of events. Even for a long time, some of the program of the TV was the location was in this OIRF campus. It's because of the, I should say that the owner of the land is the private person in based of his vision for the a smart area. We cannot call it a smart city, a smart area, or a smart quarter. He developed this. It is a place of the offices, hotels, residential building, university, a part of the university, also the a location for the startups. And this area, you can see there are different activity are running, but it's closed. So if it means if you want to go to this area, you have to, you should cross the gate. You cannot just go in the city, in this area. And later on, we talk about the problem of this. The other point is the Adlershof Berlin is a technology park and neighborhood of Adlershof. Adlershof is in the southeast of the Berlin. It was before part of the East Berlin, but now it is the part of the whole Berlin as the wall is destroyed. It is the center of the, I guess, the urban development in Berlin, because the area was before very poor, but after when the Germany get won, they focused a lot in this area to develop it as a science park or technology park. There is a place again for the universities. There are a lot of dormitories, offices, hotels, and also they call it the science. This is one of the motto of the managing group, that the other half is the science at work. Here you can see also there are the modern houses. The special one is the powerhouse at 3 pounds of the energy. In this house, this group of the house, you can see how they can use the different sort of the energy, and also the building produce energy. It is the interesting point that how they use the residential building to in the way that they can also produce renewable energy and also sell it to the grid. There are some pictures, as you see, even in the parkings between the block, there are not just parking, they installed a lot of cells that they can collect also a lot of energy. And also how they are monitoring the upper part, here is what you see, is the basement of one of the buildings. So you see the basement is not a normal basement, it is more like a factory that produces energy. The next sample is Vauban. About the others, I should mention that this is open, you can go through, but again, I will, after the Vauban, I talk about the problem, briefly about the problem of all the cities. The Vauban in Freiburg, that I guess it's also there is a sisterhood between Freiburg and Espan, as much as I know. It is the district located in the former Vauban barracks. It was until 94 was under control of the French government. Later they give it the Vauban, the area is quite big, to the municipality of the Freiburg, and they got to the idea to make it a green city. The Vauban is the district of short distance. Many facilities such as the grocery stores, drug stores, farmers, market, doctors, pharmacies, and the bike shops are really within the walking distance. So it means that you can access to everything. There is I guess by train you need just about 10 minutes to access to the center of the city. The main theme in the Vauban is the renewable energy, urban planning, new buildings, mobility, waste management, water resource management, natural protection, farming, and sustainable tourism. Even there is a group of there is one organization that they arrange the visit of the city. So you can book the ticket and they will show you how the city is working. There is most of the building houses also in the area are zero energy houses. There are a lot of really advanced work and advanced building and construction. Social value program for, there I have a lot of program also to educate the younger people, like a program for they prepare this introduction to the city for students, for the students from high school, even from the different level, and they try to introduce this area as a sample of the green city and the benefits of the area. As you see, the Vauban is creating identity through history, diversity of form, colors, and compatibility with the natural and context. It's interesting that when you are walking through in this part of the city, each group of the building, they have somehow their own identity. You can recognize them. It's not only based on the number. It was one of the idea of the builder, that the building should not be recognized only based off the number. It should be some other possibility to recognize the building in the area. Now the point is that with all these three areas that I talked, it was one of the work of one of our students. It's a master student. He make a sort of the question in Vauban. Vauban is somehow the good example. It is not as advanced as other Europe campus, or it's not as advanced of others, but it is more place for the living. You can see, feel somehow it's a nice atmosphere. But based on this questionnaire that the student had filled and they talked with the people in this area, it was obvious that they don't have any real life still in this area. Even though a lot of things has changed in this city, in this area, everything, they try to renovate the old building, so it's not just a shapeless quarter. They have a lot of quality, but as they have not considered the big group of the society, it means the young people, very often when they want to have a fun or they want to have a sort of to feel more happy, they have to go to the city center. It means they should go to the old streets of the Freiburg. It is close, but still it means that just by providing something like a nice building or even the green building, you cannot achieve the balanced green city. You cannot achieve balanced a place where everyone can feel belonging. I use also this idea of the vandalism to show that this sense of belonging is very important. In all these three cities, as there is a high control of the society somehow to the area, and also in the Europe campus is the high control from the people who are the owning of the land. Still, you cannot see that much sign of the graffiti, but or vandalism in the physical form, but you can see the problem in the vandalism through the internet, or you can see in the Vauban, even though it's one of the best from my point of view. I have visited all of this area in several times. Still in this, even Vauban is not the place that you can call it city. It's green city, it is green, it is nice, but still something is missing. The life of the city is not, you cannot see the real life of the city in Vauban. If you want to see or to experience the city life, you have to go back again to the Freiburg city center. Maybe it shows that for the planning and for the building a city or the development, it is very important to consider all layer of the society. Because when we are talking in here, then we can talk about the affordability. If we could manage to have the place for each group, and also if we can create a space for every age, it means, and also give them the possibility to be creative, to have something, because the graffiti, even the negative one, they are sign of that, they show that someone cries that I want to be seen. I want to be part of this area. If I cannot be in the positive way, then I would be in the negative way. So this is the core of this, the balance, then we call it balanced eco-smart city, is the place, the city that is placed for everyone, in every economic situation, and also every age. I should mention that it is a part of the research is not finished, so I try to give some hint about what we have done so far. Thank you, and thank you for Dr. Fereidunian.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shahriari, for your interesting presentation.